L is for the way.
At Petfix Club, we want to make owning a pet the best it can possibly be for you and the one you love. Enjoy personalised online pet care at petfix-club.com. Start your free trial today. Love your pet? Join the club.
Hi, Pete Wedderburn here. I'm also known as Pete the Vet, and I'm here as a co-founder of an exciting new website, which is Petfix Club. Petfix Club is all about giving good quality information to people about pets. I'm a vet, and I like to share the information about pets. I like to share as much information as I can so people end up knowing all about animals, knowing the facts, not the rumours or the myths. So good to see you all out there, and I'll just say to you again, we as well as Petfix Club, we also have petfixshop.ie, where we sell a whole bunch of different really good quality products, pet accessories, foods, all sorts of things, to help people look after their pets better. Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, Kira. So good to see you again. And that's Paulie right there.
Hey, hi, he's come to say
Paulie. Dogs don't really know about cameras. It's all a bit strange, isn't it?
He actually, when I take it out, he actually runs.
Does he? But isn't he gorgeous? He's like a big teddy bear.
Yeah, I mean, those human eyes, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah. And Kira, I remember you from, it's actually nearly 14 years ago. Do you remember when you were driving over the Dublin mountains and you came across a kitten in the middle of the road?
Yeah.
Isn't that
And there was
incredible?
a person to bring him to. I was like, I didn't know what to do, and I had the kitten in the back of the van, and I was thinking, what am I going to do? And I rang my sister. I was like, what do I do? And she's like, there's only one man you can see. It's Pete the Vet. I ended up turning on your doorstep and nearly in tears.
Yeah, what a target that was. And you never heard where the kitten came from?
No, never did. I saw the person that threw it out the window, but it happened so quick that I didn't get the reg or anything. But it was a plastic bag, and I actually thought they were dumping rubbish. And when I came closer, then I was on the way to work, and then this tiny kitten crawled out of the bag, and I jammed on the brakes. So it was lucky I stopped in time anyway. But you were very good. The kitten had a happy ending because of you. So thank you very much.
What happened eventually in the long run? Because that's nearly 14 years ago.
God, because I couldn't keep. I had a Westie at the time, and they did not get on. So I was giving it milk under. Remember, you told me what to do, and I was day and night feeding this kitten. And then I had to choose between my 10-year-old Westie and the kitten.
Yeah, it's not easy though.
But I dropped it. I went to Tullow. Actually, I think you gave me the contact, and I went to Tullow, and this lady had kind of like a cat sanctuary, and for cats, and she rehomed them locally. So
it's a great saga. I mean, it's amazing that it's that long ago now, but there you are.
Yeah.
But look, now you're having a whole new animal adventure. And
I am. Yeah.
So tell us about yourself first. Where are you from, Kira, originally?
Originally from Swords, County Dublin, and then
Right.
I moved to Low when I was about 18, 19. I kind of followed my parents, and so I've kind of settled here. I'm in Wicklow Town at the moment. Absolutely lovely spot, the beach and everything. So yeah, I'm engaged to be married. We were supposed to be married. We rescheduled the wedding 4 times now, I think.
Oh, like so many people. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
So yeah, that's kind of coming. Soon, who knows, but hopefully. And so Joshua came along 7 years ago this September.
It sounds amazing. Tell us about Joshua.
Yeah, he's super intelligent, He can speak 8 languages, but finds communication in English hard. It's amazing, it's mind-blowing. So I'm extremely proud of him. He just surprises me every day with something new. So I suppose when we were given the diagnosis, he was 2.5 at the time.
And
of
what
autism.
autism? Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and they said, look, the gap could widen, or it could get narrower. He could, he could develop, and that gap could close. He could catch up with his peers. So we didn't really know what we were facing into, and as he's
That must have been a very stressful time for you at that time.
yeah, incredibly, very hard to. Very hard to work. It's very hard to, when you're given that kind of diagnosis, you think
uncertainty.
yeah, you kind of have to put everything into it, and that's what I felt like. That was my responsibility, to put everything into it. So I joined advocacy groups. I did countless YouTube. I watched every video. I went to every course, just trying to widen my understanding of autism and what our lives would be. I made friends among a community, which is amazing. And that's how we got to know about My Canine Companion. And my God, I'm so glad I did, because he is truly life-changing. And I don't even say that lightly. He isn't even trained yet.
So, like, a lot of people won't know anything about My Canine Companion. So tell us a bit about what that is.
So My Canine Companion celebrated their 10th birthday this year, and they're running the last 10 years, on average providing 60 families with a dog each year. Now, some years, obviously, they haven't been able to do that in recent times, but that's what they pledged this year and next year. There's thousands of families that could benefit from a service dog.
Do they specialise in service dogs for autistic children?
Yes, they do.
That's their special. That's their focus.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't need to tell you, Pete. There's thousands of families that could do with a Paulie, or from a safety aspect, Joshua is a flight risk, and that's the main reason why I express interest in getting a service dog.
Can you tell us more about that? Because I think people who haven't come across this before, they have a misunderstanding about what it is that these dogs are so effective at. So tell us from your perspective what happens.
So from a safety aspect, it would be, so Joshua is a flight risk, and he would be unaware.
What do you mean by flight risk?
So if I left a window open, or the door unlocked, or a car door unlocked, if I didn't put a seatbelt, like, he'd be gone. He doesn't see the risks in running across a road, or he doesn't see the difference between a footpath and a road. He's no comprehension about where danger is and where safety is. So that worries me a lot.
So at any time at all, if you're out with him, going to a shopping centre or something, if you take your eye off him for a moment, he might just go.
Gone.
And people don't know about this, don't understand, but that's a really, really massive issue. Day to day, huge stress for parents.
Like even Tesco, like the simplest of things, dropping into Tesco, or like, I mean, I won't say a meal as a family, but like things like that, Joshua can't sit still for long. So it would be very hard to do the normal day-to-day things that families do. So that's what our hope is for Paulie, who's training at the moment.
Tell us what a companion dog, what a service dog does to deal with that flight risk.
Yeah, so the safety is aspect. So when he's fully trained, so at the moment he's in training. So he came to us at 12 weeks old.
Really? Very young.
Yeah, so it's done differently than the blind dogs. He comes to us at 12 weeks and he bonds with Joshua, and he spends a lot of time with Joshua.
Where does he come from? Where do they get sourced their dogs?
So they have families that I just don't know how, because they're not paid, they get no government funding, but these families breed dogs especially for My Canine Companion. So they have dogs up and down the country that would breed especially for My Canine Companion. So they have litters. They've loads of litters actually at the moment. I think it's the COVID baby, definitely. But they have these families that take on in mind, and oh, it's just incredible. If you follow their page, you'll see My Canine Companion. You will
And
see
he's a golden doodle, isn't he?
he is. So his mammy is a golden retriever and his dad is a
Right.
poodle.
Okay.
So that
And
poodle, that dad poodle has been used in, say, 5 litters over the last couple of years. And, it's amazing when we meet up for these lessons. So once a month we meet up for a training class.
Yeah.
And we meet all his cousins and his, like we met PJ, that's his brother from the P litter, a couple of days ago in the pavilions. And we walk around the pavilions and it's quite a sight to see 6 golden doodles walking around,
And is that the canine, My Canine Companion's breed of choice, you said? That's what they...
It is. Yes, they do. At the moment, they have a few Irish doodles as well. So an Irish setter and a poodle. And the poodle, I think, now you may correct me, but I think the poodle is the intelligence side, and I think that's where they're going, when the retriever is the loyal side. I don't know, but it's a good mix because he is super intelligent. Sometimes I'd be talking to my fiance Shane, and I'd say one thing and the head is up and he's at the door, or I haven't even said anything really. So yeah.
So he arrived when he was just 12 weeks old, just a puppy.
Yeah.
Right.
That
must have been so exciting that day.
I was like, I remember going to collect him and literally shaking in the car because it's, oh God, this, I hope this works is the first thing. Like, I really hope this works.
How did you get to that stage, to go back a bit? Because there must be a huge demand for dogs like this. How did you actually get there?
So I expressed interest about 2 years ago because I suppose I was watching Joshua and the way he kind of was, the speech wasn't quite there yet, and he was kind of struggling emotionally. So I said, right, look, even if it comes to it and I turn it down, what's the worst? I heard that list was long and we'd be waiting a long time. So I expressed interest. I started fundraising and kind of doing little bits of fundraising, not massive things at all. Raffles, and Shane is in the Air Corps, so he was doing a few bits in there as well. And then we got the call to say that there was a litter and would I like a dog, and my jaw just hit the floor. I was like, I'm not ready for this. This is like a baby. I'm not ready. But I picked him up, and
how long ago was that?
That was August, the first week in August. So during lockdown, and Joshua hadn't been in school in months, and it was chaos. The house was literally chaotic because there was no routine. Joshua was so out of sorts, and I was bringing home this puppy, if you can imagine, to add to the chaos. But it turned out to be the best thing we ever did. Best thing, hands down.
So I mean, it sounds amazing. I'm just looking at him there. He looks so at home with you already.
Yeah, he is, and he's at my feet now. He's snoring, but he's just been such a blessing. And anyone that's thinking about it, my advice is just to do it, because it's so rewarding.
Tell me more about the training then that you have to do. How does that work?
Yeah. So once a month, as I was saying to you, we meet up with the trainer, and it's usually around Dublin or Wicklow, and she'll make time for you, because obviously with such a demanding family life, it can be hard to find the time to do it. But they're excellent. They all have autistic kids themselves, so that's what's lovely. They understand the demands of that. So we meet up once a month, and they're like parents and siblings, and we all chat, and we stop and have a coffee, let the dogs all kind of socialize, and then we go on obedience work, and she can watch the way they are really, and if they have it in them to become qualified, which is getting them ready to go down to Cork. So that's the next stage. Is
all right.
I'm not ready, Pete. I'm not ready.
And is that for fine tuning the training? Is that it?
Yeah. So that's the intense training. That's the graduating, if you like, into the proper service dog. You know, he's in training at the moment, and
And
he has.
when does that intense bit happen?
So he leaves us in August, and he's back before Christmas.
Oh, so he's away
Um,
for quite a long time.
yeah, yeah. So I'll be out walking just to lead,
But
just to
you'll
keep
miss him a
myself safe.
lot. You'll miss him hugely.
Oh, like he's like a shadow, and I think I've had
Yeah.
dogs before, Pete, and I brought them to you, and I've had Yorkies and Westies, and I've had quite small dogs, but
Mm,
honestly, I can't describe it.
mm,
He's human. He's part human. That's what I think anyway, because he feeds like he. I'll give you an example. If Joshua's having a really bad, hard day,
yeah.
he will gravitate towards him. He will stay near him. He will, he won't get in his space because he knows Joshua doesn't like that. And that kind of, he's sussed that out the last couple of months, is that, okay,
Mm,
no, he doesn't want me that close, but he'll stay close enough. And then if he feels, he'll give a little lick on his hand or something, like it's so slight, but just to
mm,
let him know that he's there. Another example would be like the safety thing. Joshua loves water. He is water mad. So
mm.
taps everything on, and we're down the sea every day with with Paulie and Joshua. And if Joshua goes out too far, now I'm close by, but Paulie will swim and actually nudge him back to the shore. Now he's not qualified, he's not trained to do that. That's just instinctively
Yeah.
knows that Joshua may not be aware, and he can hear my voice getting Joshua, come back, and he's
Yeah. That's
like it's
amazing. And he just
crazy.
does that instinctively.
Instinctively. So I can't explain it. So it's
Mm,
obviously to do with the breed. It's obviously
mm.
something that's in them. So it's yeah, I'm amazed at it myself.
So already, kind of just intuitively, that he's fitted in really well and become a really close friend.
Yeah.
But what? So when he goes away, do you know what else he's going to be specifically trained to do? Tell us what he'll do different when he comes back.
Well, I'd say it'll be an everyday training. Like it's
Mm,
not just as we've been doing once a month. It'll be every day. He stays with a host family,
right?
and we'll get updates on how he's doing, and it'll be a lot more intense, obviously obedience, and it'll be concentration and distraction work. So other dogs, and he learns not to react to
Right.
dogs passing,
Yeah.
and there'll be a lot of that, like because there'll be certain situations where he will be hopefully attached to Joshua. So that will be, if he's fully qualified, there will be a belt around Joshua and he'll be attached to Paulie. So fingers crossed that will stop the flight risk
Right.
and kind of
That's
relax.
I've heard that before. So that if
Yeah.
Joshua runs, Paulie just
Mm.
goes down
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
doesn't move, and then Joshua
Yeah.
can't run away anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds so
Well,
simple,
pretty
but
close.
it's completely life changing, isn't it?
It is, because at the moment myself, now I was able to catch Joshua up to a certain age, and now I just can't. He's so fast, I can't catch him. When he runs, I'll run, but I won't get near him. And
Gosh, that's so
the
frightening.
problem is now I can't bring him somewhere by myself, which is kind of a bit heartbreaking. I kind of have to have Shane home from work in order for
Mm,
the two of us to go, and that becomes so restrictive, and your world gets so small
yeah,
because
yeah.
you're so limited with what you can do and who you can meet and where, like birthday parties and you name it. So with
So,
all that said, I think a service dog is life changing for us, like you said.
so what you're saying really is, like, so Joshua, he's 7 years old now.
Yes, he's 7 in September. Yeah.
So I'd imagine that Paulie, a dog like Paulie, probably has what, 10-year working life.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Mm-hmm.
means from when Joshua's 7 to he's 17, you're going to
Yeah.
have this wonderful help around the home all the
Yeah.
time. Isn't that's life changing?
It is. It is. And I don't think people realize how important and how life-changing it is. You know, I walk around Tesco, and because he's so fluffy and white, and you know, he stands out he gets a lot of attention, and a lot of people would come over, but he has an important job to do. And I think just because he looks absolutely gorgeous, and you want to, you know, a lot of people come over and try and pet him, and you know, are kind of petting him while they say, "Is this okay?" You know, whereas when the jacket's on, I think it's really important to know how important his job is, and especially if Joshua's with me, I'll be very strict on who comes in, because too much distraction, it's a nightmare, you know.
Oh yeah, and listen, what you've been describing there, it just seems so intense. Like we're going away for 4 months training, and I immediately think there's a really high level of professionalism is going to be needed there, a really high level of input, and that says to me that's going to take resources, and that's going to be expensive. So,
Sure.
you know, and you've already said that they don't get money from the government. So how does this all work? I mean, is there some wonderful big benefactor who pays for everybody, or?
They wish. So basically they depend on people, you know, trying to fundraise, and that's how they've survived for 10 years. And thankfully there's a great community in My Canine Companion. Like, they are just amazing. So everyone pitches in, like any fundraising they do, they've got the whole lot, you know. There's hundreds of puppies now over the 10 years that, you know, even dogs that have retired, like you said, they're so grateful for the service that they've given, because with an additional needs child, you get very little. And I don't need to probably say that. Most people know that the lack of services out there are slim to none. So a service like this, which essentially is a therapy service, completely free. You know, we go along to these monthly training sessions. They go away, they're looked after, you know. So they depend on people being generous, fundraising, and trying to support them. So we've just finished 60 miles so Joshua walked 60 miles for June, and we raised
kid.
Yeah, I know, he didn't. I tell you, he's fast. He clocked them up pretty quick. But we got out every night, we walked for them, and we kind of documented it while we did it. And
he's got an Instagram page. I was looking at his Instagram page. It's great.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, you have to get creative, you know, with the, you know, when you're asking for fundraising, there's so many charities out there, and they're deserved and looking for fundraising, and you know, you have to kind of get a bit creative and kind of put a bit of a personality to it. So that's around Paulie's Instagram page.
That's great. That's great. And tell us about the hampers that you're selling. What is that? That's another.
Oh yeah. So again, trying to get creative with the fundraising. We've put together, thankfully, with Petfix as well. We have a hamper, and it's a donation of €39, and you get dog food and dog treats, and there's a puppuccino squeaky toy, and there's a donut, and so there's a couple left. So if anyone wants one, they can head over to Paulie's Instagram page and drop me a DM, and you can reserve one. So it all goes, every penny goes to My Canine Companion.
Very good. And I hear that Paulie enjoys the Petfix Club food, does he?
Oh, well, you know, this is the thing. When you have a busy life, like, it's so handy to have. I can't even tell you, Pete, God love the dogs. The dogs are like last. They're like, hey, can you feed me? So it's so good to have something that you can just click on and it's delivered the next day, which is a pretty amazing service. I don't think I have any service like that. So it's always there the next day. And like, to be honest, another part of Paulie and having Paulie is the nutritional side of it. And it's not like a pet. You're feeding a family member. So I remember going on thinking, okay, I have to get the best here. I have to suss out like what he needs in order to have a healthy lifespan, because he's our, you know, he's too important. Like, this is crazy. I know all dogs are important, but he's too important to what he's served with. So I did a lot of research, came up with Petfix, and as well as the good service, there was yourself who had recommended this food. So, I mean, and also my two aging dogs, they're 11 now, and you see, they all can eat it, so it's
Yeah.
great.
Well, that's good. Great. Listen, we actually had some questions that people have sent in. So can I put those up? Let's put them up on the screen and see what we're going. Are doodles good breeds for service therapy dogs? Mine is adorable but hyper, so excitable. So what do you reckon to that?
Yeah, it depends what age, I suppose. Because Paulie was very excitable, hyper, up to when he was neutered. So he was neutered, and then he's kind of quietened down a lot. Now he loves his free run, so he every week, 1 day a week, I bring him on a walk, gets off his lead, and he can let go, let his hair. He's had a busy week. I think it's probably just really important to be stern with them. I think they can be cheeky, and they can you know,
I think boundaries, as like with children, boundaries are important, and being consistent.
Exactly.
I think it's quite common for people to think that they have a lovely dog and could it be used as a service dog as well. I think it's actually much more specialized than that, really, isn't it? You have to start when they're young. And follow the kind of formal sort of training, really, you know.
That's true.
Another question.
Yeah.
At what age do service dogs start training? It's something I'd like to explore for my doodle. Well, I think you've already said that, haven't you? They start when they're very young, really.
They do, and they have to be obviously registered with a charity, because the dog is registered as a service dog. So you can't train a normal dog to be a service dog, if you know that. So it would be very young, and we go to, as I said, training once a month, and you know, we get a folder this big with everything that he needs to do. So it's intense from day one, but you know, as if you talk to anyone with a service dog, it's hard work, but it's worth it in the end. You know, what you get out of it is so much better, you know.
And tell me, are there other rescue or charities like my-canine-companion in Ireland, or what's the story?
I think there's like 3 or 4 main ones, Irish guide dogs, but they all have a similar waiting list, and it's hard to get onto. I'm not going to lie, I've heard people on it for years. So, you know, it's best to get, if you think that you may need one in the future, it's best to put your interest down, put your name down on a list, because it can be hard. You know, it's not an easy process to be chosen, if you know what I mean.
Really, even as soon as you get a diagnosis, like you had when
like if you're home, if you're able to have a dog, you know, some people aren't. So if you're able to have a dog and you think you have the time to put into it. Now I work part-time now, I've reduced my hours so I could facilitate his training. So there's a lot to give up, you know, there's a lot to consider when you're thinking about one. It's not easy. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. Some days you're thinking, oh my God, you know, I have to keep up the walking, I have to keep with the distractions, I have to keep, you know, there is a lot of work that goes into a service dog. But
there's a lot of rewards as well.
A lot of rewards. He's like a second son now, you know, and he gives a lot to me and to my partner. You know, it's mad. He doesn't just give to Joshua, he brings us all together, if you know what I mean. We can all go out together. He comes everywhere with us, everywhere. Like,
it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Ciara, we probably better wrap up now. It's been really great talking to you and hearing the story. And I'm going to say just, I suppose, a few announcements to everybody out there. If you want to hear more about Ciara's story, then find Paulie on Instagram, and he's at Dude It's Paulie. That's DOODITSPAULIE on Instagram. And make sure you check out the hampers that Ciara's selling, and all the proceeds are going to Paulie's service training. So it's all done for Joshua, which is great. And keep an eye on the blog. We'll put this little video into a blog tomorrow. and so people can watch it again, and they can also see the different products and stuff as well that be linked into this. So, Kira, thanks so much for giving us your time, and thanks for telling the story. It's great to see you again. Great to talk to you.
You too. I promise I won't go to your doorstep without kittens.
And it was lovely to meet Paulie, wherever he's gone.
Yeah. He's asleep. He's making me talk.
It's a great story, and you told it really well. So thanks so much, Kira.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you very much.
I'll talk to you again sometime. All right. Thanks a lot.
Take care, Pete. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
L is for the way.
At PetFix Club, we want to make owning a pet the best it can possibly be for you and the one you love. Enjoy personalised online pet care at petfix-club.com. Start your free trial today. Love your pet? Join the club.